I just urinated in the ladies' room. Please don't tell anyone.
Did you add to the lipstick on the wall?
No, but I did see that, though. I did see that. I noticed. It also said cha-cha up there as well.
Typo, tchotchkes.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. I appreciate that. The more you know. A little light housekeeping first. Is anyone driving a JR 420S? That's once again JR 420S. Thank God. That would have been awkward. The 126. 7 minutes late. This bus stop has a bench, but it's reached capacity. A glance down the block reveals nothing but compact cars, oversized strollers, plaid patterns, and situational alcoholism. No sign of the 126, but 7 minutes late is still slightly early. 11 minutes late, and the locals have their Twitter accounts open. NJT has posted a pic in which one of their buses is on fire. Hashtag woke up like this. The state of public transit is encouraging people to swim to the city. Hoboken-based scuba retailers are all in the black. Scuba lessons are $120 an hour. Half price if you can survive swimming in the Henry Hudson. Over 14 minutes past schedule, and a cloud of black smoke seems to be moving up the block. The 126 is within smelling distance. The locals scramble toward the uptown edge of the bench, and by the time the bus takes off, there's only been one casualty. He tried to pay with quarters. About 16 minutes past schedule, and just about on time, the 126 is a Patagonia-sponsored tossed salad of asses and elbows, a full contact sport. The driver makes an extra hard left on 14th, and now I'm engaged to marry the passenger next to me. Cthulhu is a Hoboken resident. He lives on one of those uptown swanky-ass potholes. He's a crossing guard during the school year. He throws a worried glance at the 126 as it barrels past his pothole. 27 minutes past scheduled arrival time, almost late. The bus driver uses the intercom to say the following. Attention, passengers. This is a reminder that time and space are constructs. The Lincoln Tunnel is an interdimensional wormhole. Please keep your breathing to a minimum as we pass through it. A proper 31 minutes past schedule, a few minutes late. The Port Authority is in sight. The scent of asbestos fills the air. Crashing into the gate, the screeching brakes drown out the screaming. The doors open, and it's benedictions to the Most High. People were calling their mothers. A man was FaceTiming with his golden retriever. An enthusiastic chorus of "God damn the bus driver" broke out as the asses and elbows piled down the steps and into the city. Thanks. I'm going to make an assumption. Guys, if you want to hold your applause just to the end, that'd be great. If you're not feeling like applauding, you want to do something else, that's fine too. I accept all forms of currency. That's fine. You can just throw it at the stage. I'm cool with that. This is called Baby Babylon on the Henry Hudson. Friday, payday, 9:45-ish, and Washington Street already has sewage behind its ears. A zombie Miley Cyrus on a disco-wrecking ball. The recklessness is airborne. So is the HPV. JK. Dickstat. Snapchat. Bottle service at the bus stop. Diplo is driving the 126, and he's got dinosaur cocaine coming out of the exhaust pipe. thighs, blue collar for Frankie's tired eyes. We made it through another week. Cat's feet, Court Street, 27-inch heels, plaster casted collars, each of which is en route to the soiree. Dwayne Reed has got a Mountain Dew fountain. I swear to God, I've seen it. They got a Mountain Dew fountain. And last call isn't until the revolution. You never have to go home, but you might want to go to the hospital. How many jokes have been killed by a bad connection? A head full of Adderall with 3 shots of Barbitol. In most Dwayne Reeds, the bar is next to the pharmacy. Aisle 13. Nothing but salt pills and morning afters in all unmarked bottles. Let's go half on a baby roulette is the ticket price for the Gaslight Express. Mollywop. Candy flip. Hubert Selby is urinating into the Mountain Dew fountain. And it's not even midnight. He just finished his shift at the Hot Topic, and he really wants to meet your parents. Betsy DeVos is busy pre-gaming for the Dwayne Reed discotheque. She just burned down the Hoboken homeless shelter while she was pounding White Claws. Because ain't no laws when you're drinking claws. Cherry Stem, EDM. The DJ has 2 jackhammers hooked up to a MacBook Pro. There's Mountain Dew and urine in the fucking Mountain Dew fountain. The DJ is playing Bob Jovi's entire catalog at 300 beats per minute. Bleeding from the ears goes great with that outfit. Zombies in search of brains and hard seltzer terrorize the dance floor of the Dwayne Reed discotheque. The screaming can be heard for miles once the lights go on. Betsy DeVos has burned down the Dwayne Reed discotheque. The zombies are now craving pizza. Solicitation. The pizza line is speaking in tongues and wading through pools of crocodile tears. I'll have a slice of the desperation. Hubert Selby rhapsodizes from a rooftop. Into the gutters go the cocktail dresses carried by teardrops. The water mains need a safe word. St. Saturday drives into town as the orgy moves back to Mount Olympus. The strollers reclaim the sidewalks as the sun hits the surface. St. Saturday finds a parking spot and pulls a guitar case from the back seat. Walks to the waterfront. Belts out Redemption Song for the love of yet another first light. This poem is actually a poem by Mr. Thomas Fukuloro. It is called Sometimes I Forget There Are Other Worlds Besides Staten Island. Take a trip. Follow the dove with the peace plant in its beak and other stock photos. Walk into a tattoo shop and ask if they have a phone booth. Walk into a pizza shop and ask about the imbibition from one slice to the next. Walk into the mall and ask to see the gallery manager. You decide what's for sale and what's the profit margin. Walk into any one of our parks and ask to see the sunrise. I swear, the sky responds in song. Walk into a bank or realty office and ask for Michael Myers. Plug in your PlayStation and try to plant flowers with your highest average score. Go to the outer limits of yourself only to find you were only in Jersey. Twist, shout, and any other birth canal rumors of what the new dance craze is. Patterns, passing more, patterns, turning into patterns, my thumbnail print. Sometimes I forget there are other worlds besides Staten Island. And sometimes I just forget. And sometimes the artwork of a 12-year-old holds more meaning. And sometimes I forget about meaning. And sometimes I forget about other worlds. And sometimes I just remember the spiders. And sometimes I ask questions. But mostly I answer. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
It's wonderful to have you, man.
This is one of my favorite places to read. I love it here. I love the room. I love the people here. It's wonderful. Thank you for listening. This poem is called Detritus. I lost my head the other day. It fell off and rolled towards the horizon. Moments later, I found it at my heels, inside of a bottle. Condolences to the Flat Earth crowd. This is an attempt at communication. What I'm trying to say is that there's a million different ways to give yourself brain damage. This poem is called Freddy as Freddy. Dead habit, yellow lips, zero eyes, canary kiss. We met in step, the first love pinch. She took the wind, took every inch. Had habit wedding, compulsive cake, violent bands, black velvet wake. My truest self, till death is due. My habit wife, the kicks, too few. The future blues, with coldest looks. Blue button cute, a careless corpse. Cohabit love. Blood in the books, star-crossed livers, with just one push. This poem is called 10 Things You Can Find at the Bottom of a Bottle That Are Not My Head. 1. Nerve endings. 2. Surrogate limbs. 3. Eternal karaoke. 4. The softest shoulder. 5. Cape. 6. Localized seismic activity. 7. The robber baron worm. 8. A collapsing star. 9. Desolation karaoke. 10. The true Applebee's. This is the last one I got for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's great to have you.
This is actually a complete rewrite from a poem that I used to do a lot, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. At one point in time, before the veil was lifted, there was something that was similar to a purpose. Ample ground on which to stand, insufficient hot air to float, a spot in the thick. It was the time to have ideals. Enchanted, I was sure of it. And with the wind at my back, I would toss my intentions into the air, where they'd be free to mingle, get lost in the crowd. Maybe, eventually, make their way into materiality. At one point in time, as I remember, my index finger could have caused an eclipse. I had that type of superposition. Standing firm with a head full of constituency, convicted, 2 shameless shoes, and a solid set of sea legs on just about every surface. Every day was a honeypot, and there was no need to wear pants. In paradise, I was the world's foremost authority. It's amazing how much can change with just a slight step to the left. Complete derailment is just one cha-cha slide to the left. One minor left-leaning perambulation, and everything has changed. I had become we, and we were nowhere to be found. At this point in time, we enter the part of the poem with lava lamps and blacklight posters. A room with the oddest of optics. Exile on Main Street. Santana's Abraxas on vinyl, on repeat. returning to consciousness on a couch that smells of stale farts and bong water. An alarm going off somewhere in the ether signifies that it's time to be late for class. There was no ultraviolet in paradise. After exile, the fringe was in plain sight. We found death and taxes in the pockets of our newly casted pants. The shadow of a doubt had been cast by the ultraviolet light. With no place to stand, we were set to wander. With insufficient legs, we had to stand on approximations. Our constituency had wandered off in search of our aforementioned purpose. They purchased death front property but got a break on the taxes. Our constituency's absence had left our heads vacant lots. So many reserves parking spaces left empty. No more ideals. Just dust devils disrespecting the lines on the pavement. The one billboard towards the back of the lot reads, "Who needs death and taxes when you have static interference?" When white noise is the only thing that the heart can hear, we reduces itself. The eye opens a Twitter account and starts to identify as information. Starts to identify as a social media influencer. Finds an avatar that embodies the influence. Finds purpose in repopulation. The earth no longer remembers why it rotates. Do you remember where you were? Where you were floating? The day that white noise went viral? Thank you.